श्री स्वामी समर्थ महाराज ऑफ अक्कलकोट। श्री स्वामी समर्थ महाराज की जय। श्री गुरुदेव दत्त। श्री गणेशाय नमः। श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। Chapter 2, Dattatreya Sampradaya continued. The second divine incarnation, Shri Narsimha Saraswati. Shri Narsimha Saraswati was born at Karanja, a well-known city in Berar near Akola. The year of his birth is not exactly known and there is no unanimous opinion about it. He was named Narhari. At the time of his birth, instead of crying as babies usually do, Narhari, the newborn child, began to utter the sacred word Om. This was a wonder not only to his parents but to the whole city. Many people rushed to the house to see this wonder child. Narhari's father Madhav and mother Amba Bhavani were happy on one hand to see so many people visiting their house to see their son, but were very sorry on the other hand to see the child almost dumb otherwise. The mother cried, "Are we not destined to enjoy the prattle of a child?" She was anguished at the prospect of a child remaining dumb, although there was some ray of hope due to the sound Om, Om emanating from the infant's mouth. The child tried to convey by gestures that after his thread ceremony he should be quite normal in speech. Yet the parents were not relieved of their anxiety. To convince and comfort them, Narari once took hold of an iron article and turned it into gold by his mere touch. When Narari was 7 years old, the thread ceremony was performed, and to the wonder of all, the miracle of miracles happened. All the assembled Brahmins were amazed to see the dumb Narhari chanting Veda mantras. The joy of the parents knew no bounds and they shed tears of joy. The joy of the parents, however, was not to last long. After the thread ceremony, the mother asked her son to beg alms according to the Hindu tradition. Taking it as her order, young Narhari sought her permission to take sannyasa and to leave the house and to go out on a pilgrimage. Owing to her maternal love, she bewailed her plight and pleaded with him to give up such an idea. But Narhari consoled her and placed his palm on her head, which reminded her of her past life as Ambika and of the boon which she had won from Shripad Sri Vallabh. The mother still pleaded with her son, the illustrious Sri Guru, to stay for few more years. Sri Guru agreed and stayed till 2 brothers were born. Thereafter, on an auspicious day, the illustrious son Narhari left his house once and for all to fulfill his mission, which was to revive religious and spiritual faith and to uplift the people morally and spiritually. Narhari first went to Banaras when he came in contact with Sri Krishna Saraswati. Narhari, after taking bath in the river Ganges, used to worship Kashi Vishveshwar 3 times every day regularly. Narhari requested Sri Krishna Saraswati to initiate him into the sannyasa ashram. Sri Krishna Saraswati was pleased at the devotion, austere discipline, and earnestness of Narhari and he consented. The initiation ceremony was performed and Sri Krishna Saraswati named him as Shri Narsimha Saraswati. For spreading true knowledge for the enlightenment and welfare of all, Shri Narsimha Saraswati conducted a number of Gyan Yagyas by discoursing and giving sermons, going from place to place around Banaras. Hundreds of people were guided onto the spiritual path by him. From Banaras, he went to Badrikashram forest with his disciples. Then he moved from place to place and arrived at Ganga Sagar near Calcutta. Travelling along the bank of the holy river, he reached Prayag in Allahabad. Some 21 years passed in sojourning this way. Shri Narsimha Saraswati desired to bless his parents and brothers, and so he decided to come to his birthplace Karanja. One fine morning he reappeared at his home to the wonder and joy of all. In the Guru Charitra, the various miracles performed by Shri Narsimha Saraswati have been described in some detail. It is to be, however, noted that these miracles were not meant for display, but for a deeper purpose, to reinforce faith among people in a higher power and to put them on the path of spiritual seeking. The Mohammedan regime in those days was very repressive and tyrannical. It appeared as if Vedic culture of the Hindus was on the verge of extinction. Sri Narsimha Saraswati aroused a sense of awakening and confidence among the Hindus by his soul illumining discourses. One Shamdev, who later became one of the closest devotees of Sri Narsimha Saraswati, was at that time in the service of a Mohammedan ruler. This ruler was very ruthless and committed many atrocities on the Hindus. His practice was to kill one Hindu every year. It came to be Shamdev's turn to be the victim, and he was summoned by the Mohammedan ruler. Before leaving, Shamdev prayed to Narsimha Saraswati to save him. Sri Narsimha Saraswati vouchsafed his safety. Shamdev approached the Mohammedan ruler with a great fright, but to his wonder found him to be so different. Instead of being slaughtered, he was received with great respect and honor and was given gifts. It is said that this Muslim was a Rajak, that is washerman in his past life, who had a boon from Shripad Sri Vallabh, all of which is narrated in Guru Charitra. Sri Narsimha Saraswati thereafter went to Triambakeshwar in Nashik and Parali Vaijanath. At the last place he remained in seclusion and did penance for 1 year. After his penance, he went to Audumbar and Amarapur, situated near the confluence of rivers Krishna and Panchaganga. At Amarapur, he stayed for 12 years. This place was sanctified by his penance and came to be known after him as Narsobawadi. From Amarapur, he went to Gangapur and remained there for 24 years. He liked this place very much as suitable for his penance. During his long sojourn there, many astounding incidents and miracles took place. Sri Narsimha Saraswati was now considered as Siddha Purush with divine powers of healing ailments and allaying mental worries and anxieties of his devotees. Large number of persons, Hindus and Mohammedans, used to come to him and consider him a Sadguru. Sri Narsimha Saraswati went again to Triambakeshwar for the Simhastak and returned to Gangapur. He now felt that his life's mission was coming to an end. One day, he bade goodbye to the people of Gangapur and with his selected 7 disciples went to the confluence of Bhima and Amaraja rivers and stood for a while under the Ashwatha tree. Pointing out to the flow of the river, he expressed that it was the union of the rivers Ganga and Yamuna. Worship this Ashwatha tree and practice penance. You will obtain whatever you desire, and all your wishes will find fulfillment. Your life will be blessed. Then he announced his intention to depart from the world. His disciples were plunged in grief, but the Guru's decision seemed to be irrevocable. A float was prepared on a banana leaf and was decked with flowers. The float was then placed on the waters of the stream. Sri Narsimha Saraswati sat on the float. All the disciples offered worship and obeisance, while their hearts were breaking. The Guru cheered them up and told them that he was going to Kardalivan, the grove of banana trees near Sri Shaila of Lord Mallikarjun, one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. And after reaching there, as a mark of his safe arrival there, clusters of flowers will be seen by them coming back floating against the current. He floated away along with the current of the river. To the wonder and joy of all, clusters of flowers did come back floating up on the opposite current as per his assurance. The disciples took them as prasad, extolling the omnipotence of Sri Narsimha Saraswati. Sri Narsimha Saraswati, being the incarnation of Guru Dattatreya, Sarva Devata Swarupa, preached the upasana of Saraswati, Vishnu, Shiva, Ganesh, Narsimha and Dattatreya. His mission was specially to guide the Brahmins who are supposed to be the custodians of the Sanatan Dharma and to put them on the right path and make them spread the gospel of Datta Sampradaya. As a result of this, the Sampradaya took deep roots and spread all over Maharashtra, especially at the time when religious spirit had sunk to the lowest ebb amongst Hindus, which encouraged the spread of Islam and when the Hindu community was in utter despair. Sri Narsimha Saraswati brought in a spiritual and religious renaissance and restored the moral of the people. The places of his residence, which are Narsobawadi, Audumbar, and Gangapur, became centers of pilgrimage. The message of Sri Narsimha Saraswati is summarized as under: in the short and fleeting span of human life, man attempts should be to realize the divine through devotion. Consider your life as blessed by securing the grace of a guru. Use your buddhi and vivek, that is intellect and power of discrimination, and purify your minds. Never think of hurting others physically, mentally, or verbally. Strive to realize God who dwells in your own hearts. With this, we complete Chapter 2. Shri Swami Rajarpanamastu Shubham Bhavatu Shri Rastu.